I don't know how closely you guys follow YouTube drama, but recently YouTube megastar Ray William Johnson and his show Equals 3 left his network Maker Studios and began producing the show on his own. Now at first everything was all hush hush. Ray just basically said there was contract disagreements and things like that. Then Maker put out a statement about the situation and Ray was like, well, that's not true. So he felt like he had to explain, and basically what he said happened is that Maker Studios said that if Ray didn't renegotiate his contract, they would not release his album that he was working on with them. So he left the network and the album didn't get made. Well, that was like 2 months ago, but apparently the shit has hit the fan because Ray recently posted a fully detailed article on the internet basically explaining the whole situation. Turns out when Maker Studios was trying to get Ray to renegotiate his contract, they were literally trying to take half of his profits and own half of his brand in perpetuity. That means forever. And he even uploaded pictures of the contract they tried to get him to sign. You can go fucking look at them. And not only that, when Ray refused to sign this ridiculous contract, Maker Studios began just trying to gangster him into it in several different ways, which ultimately resulted in him leaving the network. Now this whole network thing right now is blowing up, and smaller YouTubers in particular are jumping at the chance to join these networks without even so much as researching the network or shopping around or sometimes even reading the contracts they sign. For smaller people, that's one thing, but for larger creators for whom YouTube is a significant or the primary source of their income, this whole network thing begins to matter a whole lot more. And we've already heard horror stories from some of these networks, like Machinima, who was apparently signing people to perpetuity agreements. There's that word again. It basically meant that you had to be a partner with Machinima forever, which is fucking crazy. What? Now, I personally have always been hesitant to join a network, but for a while it seemed sort of like the logical choice because it was the only way at the time, and kind of still is the only way, to get full branding options for your channel, like the custom banner on the top that you see. It also used to be the only way you could get custom thumbnails, but YouTube has pretty much rolled that out to most people by now. When I did a little more research though, I pretty much decided against it. Now, first of all, there is almost no information to be found about almost all network. Generally, if you go to the website of one of these YouTube networks, you'll get like a 1 or 2 paragraph overview and then a link to apply. That's it. They don't tell you shit until after you apply and get accepted, and then you can read the contract. Secondly, I learned that most networks don't even let you keep track of your own revenue statistic. You just trust them to count it and pay you the correct amount. What? But mostly I kind of don't need a network right now. Like, I already have custom thumbnails and I already have AdSense revenue, which as of now pays me about the same amount as most networks promise. I don't know if that changes once you start getting more views or whatever, but I just don't see the point right now. Now, the networks claim that they can negotiate higher paying ads, but that's just like a thing they say. They've never like proved it really, and they don't let their partners talk about anything, so how do I know that's true? It's hard for me to imagine that when you have Google and a network taking a cut of your money, that you're gonna make more money than if it's just Google taking a cut. Now, in the case of Maker, Ray joined because he wanted to use some of the resources they had. And you may be willing to take a slight cut in exchange for using resources that will help your channel grow much faster. But for me personally, that's not really an option yet. Now, I mentioned how nobody talks about any of this stuff, and that's also a big problem in my opinion. Like, you rarely hear any YouTube partners talking about networks. Like, no one gives anyone any advice about it. No one tells you how they are or what to expect. The only notable people that I can think of that have are Athene, who talks about it like every other week. Also, not too long ago, Freddie Wong posted a great blog about it. Now, I can only imagine that this is because they signed non-disclosure agreements and are contractually obligated to keep their mouth shut, which sucks. Imagine if you got a job at McDonald's and it sucked and they treated you like shit, but you were legally obligated to not tell anyone about it. Now, Ray William Johnson is taking a really bold move by sharing this story, and an even bolder move by sharing the details of the contract he was asked to sign. Pretty sure he's gonna get sued, but I fully respect his courage in taking on Maker, because we can't just let companies get away with shit like this. Somebody has got to stand up to him, even if it may get you in sticky situations. But look, if there's anyone out there considering joining a network, please read the goddamn contract, and if you don't understand it, get a lawyer to read it. Secondly, you must realize that the network needs you more than you need the network. You are the talent. You bring in the money. You can still get paid without them, especially if you're someone like Ray William Johnson, who's gonna get millions of views even if he's shooting with a webcam in his apartment. And good for Ray, he was smart enough to realize this, and he didn't sign that ridiculous contract and give his soul away. Unfortunately, Maker Studios is still trying to hold Ray's money hostage, and I really wish I had the resources to help him out on this. But all I can say, Ray, is that I support you, and I'm sure we all support you. And if there's anything the community can do to help, let us know.